Hello and welcome back to another video. This time we're checking out Throne and Liberty, specifically the character creation of this game. So character creation in any MMORPG is kind of an important thing. This is a character I accidentally made last night. I made basically female Sephiroth accidentally. So that's my character. We're going to create a new character for the purpose of this though. And at the very start, then you get to choose your body type. So you've got your character on the left, and then you've got your feminine character on the right. So let's have a look at both of these. Let's look at the male character first on the left side and see what options there are. There are obviously presets if you're bad at character creation, like I am usually. There are actually designer presets, as you can see. So if you wanted to just use one of these as a basis, you totally can. We have a good range of different characters. It is very similar to some of the other character creators you might remember from like Black Desert and things like that. If you've played those games, there's a good option of presets. Let's just start with a preset and then go from there. On the appearance settings, as you can see, we have ourselves different presets of face. As you can see here, it also affects their complexion. There are obviously lots of different details we can choose from that preset of face type. So let's just choose a face type, and then we have ourselves more adjustments. You can also change the shape of their face based on one of these radial menus here. So we can go for a wide face, a round face, narrow face, or long face. Why the long face? I don't know. We also have skin coloration, how glossy the skin is, so how sweaty they may be. And of course, we have a variety of different color sliders, so you can probably match to your heart's desire of what you would want your character to look like, and you can go as crazy as you would like to be. We've also got freckles, so you can change these, blemishes, things like that, which is really cool, and change the opacity of those, which is a really cool option. We can fill our character's face with scars, although opacity was on 0. There we go. So let's put scars. You'll notice that the scars are actually very subtle. Very subtle. Some more subtle than others, but it's really cool. Sadly, you can't choose more than one of these options. It would have been cool to choose multiple different types of scaration. But there's that. There's the cheekbones. We can push all of the sliders in terrible directions all to the right and see what happens. Yeah, pretty much. So it will be possible to make a ugly character, and it'll also be possible with a lot of tinkering to make a very pretty looking character. So we've got length of the jaw, width, protrusion, depths, all that sort of stuff. Chin protrusions, if we look from a side there. Yeah, so this is the typical sort of modern character creation options you might be familiar with some other MMORPGs like we've mentioned, with Black Desert, things like that. And then over here, past the face, we have the eye section. So we've got presets of eyes. So we could go for the eyes being different colors, for example. We could change that. And obviously the eye colors, we can go absolutely wild with those. And you can create some either very beautiful or horrific monstrosities. We have also different iris types as well. So we can change the way that works, and we can change the size of those pupils as well, and the brightness. We could have black eyes. That'd be cool, like a demon. And there's the pupils as well, so we can make those nice and big or as wide as we want, depending. And our eyes themselves, we've got eye spacing. Again, we could make something horrific by just pushing it in one direction. We've got eye slanting as well, duct length. Yeah, there's some very, very cool options on here as we're making this horrific character in the background. This character looks like they have seriously seen some stuff. We have eyebrow options. As you can see, we can also make those bushier or thinner, and change their opacity and change the color of those separate to the hair, which is a feature that isn't in every game that I've played. Sometimes that's something that's overlooked. And we also have the details of these, so we can change how thick they are, the height of them, all sorts of things. Like I say, this character really is starting to look awful. And that's great, isn't it? It's great when you can just make a character as bizarre as you can possibly imagine. We've got nose details here as well, the nostril size. Fantastic. Heights, bone height, stuff like that. One feature that's surprising on this that isn't in here that I've seen in other games is where you can click and drag parts of the face to change things rather than having radial menus and sliders. That is not the case here. It is mostly sliders. So if you're good with your sliders, you could probably recreate some characters as well, like NPCs that you might, from other pop culture, things like that. I am making an absolute monstrosity here. Got the mouth options, obviously, and to change the width of each part of your lip, and if you've got an overbite or whatever it might be. Fantastic. Ears, obviously we've got ear options here for size and angle. We can also make elf ears. Every character in the game is humanoid. There doesn't seem to be anything on the cash shop at the moment to facilitate like cat ears or anything like that. That might change in the future, but it is a very sort of medieval humanoid focused experience in terms of their setting. The face paint options are pretty cool. We've got some presets here of things that you could put on your character. I don't know, should we put some face paint on the character? Yes, let's use that one. We also have eyelash type, so we can go as wild as we want. There's a lot more subtle on the top row. The bottom row, obviously, you can see a lot more. It would have been nice to zoom in even further, but that's the maximum zoom on the character creation. And also, one of the things that a lot of character creators are doing now, especially since I noticed this in Final Fantasy XIV recently, is the ability to change the lighting so you can see what it looks like in different things. I think an update for this that would be ideal is what Final Fantasy XIV does, where it actually shows in-game areas as a background. That could be an even bigger improvement, because these lighting options, as much as they're nice, they're not 1000% what I would want, I don't think. So obviously we got our different eyeliners and eyeshadows, things like that. We look like we've gone to a rock concert or something, I don't know at this point. And cheek makeups, so we can change that stuff as well. But it goes on and on and on. That's the demonstration here, is that there's lip makeup, there's the cheek makeup, there's war paint that we can add on top of that. In fact, no, that is the war paint, isn't it? And then we have war paint type as well. That's interesting. Oh, I see. So there's separate options. Okay, so if you wanted to go for, I don't know, let's go for that one. That looks great. Absolutely brilliant. We can also change the color of different elements of that war paint. For example, there are different sections there. And then we'll go for, I don't know, a nice red. There we go. And then we've got hair. The hair options are something that I think a lot of people will be more interested in. We've got the presets up here, but we can further tune them. There are some really good options for both male and female characters. You'll see the female characters in a second. Nice long hairs for both male and female. On the hair options, you can specifically choose the hair separate from the facial hair. So we could go for something, I don't know, any of these. Let's go for something like that. And we can change the hair to red. And you can make it as vibrant as you want, realistically. You could just go for like bright purple hair or blue. So this is something I miss from these types of games when I go back to playing Final Fantasy XIV, is color wheels. There isn't enough options for color in games like Final Fantasy XIV. That's obviously something that you do have in a game like this. We have contrasting color, which is actually their way of saying highlights, and each hairstyle has a different set of highlights, which, you know, goes without saying. That's how it would be. Let's have bright purple highlights for no reason. Yes, we've accidentally made a bit of a clown here. Oh dear. And we have different beard options, which is actually affecting like the bottom section of the beard. So there are different parts of the beard that we're actually changing here. And then we've got long beard type. So we've got like the underbeard and then the overbeard. Let's have a big big Gandalf or something. That's a good idea. And then have that also bright red or something, or yeah, bright purple. Let's do that. That gives you a good demonstration on how bad. We've also got the body type as well. There's no like small clothes feature here, so you can't really like limit them to their underwear to see what they would look like. You can make big, tall, bulky characters, or slim, short characters, that kind of thing. It'd be nice if these were actually sliders rather than a radial menu, because what happens if I want to have a tall, very bulky character? I can't, right? It would be cool if it went over here, so to speak, like if this was a square rather than a diamond shape. But that's another criticism I have. So you can make a short character, we'll just make a really tall dude. Obviously, we can change the height here separately as well. So even though it's the preset, we can toggle things. We can change head sizes and whichever thing the wrong direction. Of course, that's what we're doing here to make a monstrosity. So yeah, whilst the preset's cool, it would be cool if the preset allowed you to have like a square shape instead. So you can make a big, bulky character. And there's also the outfits as well. So this does affect, I think, their appearance when you first log in. Because I chose that on my female character and it started in that. So I think this is actually the starting armor. Could be wrong, but you basically change this pretty quickly in the game anyway, depending on what you decide to focus down. And yeah, that's pretty much the character creator on that side. We have a randomize button, so you can see characters that look a lot better than mine. As you can see, we'll just click through some of these options. But what you are capable of making, you're making some really cool characters here, actually. As you can see, the limitations are only your own mind and based on your own presets. And of course, you could just randomize until you find something that you like, and then tailor it as well and change the eye colors and hairstyles and stuff. And I like that. This is a good randomize button, actually. There's not any horrific creations. They've kept it quite subdued. And then, of course, let's show you the other body type. All right, let's try out the other body type now then. So this is the, obviously, of the feminine character. And we have ourselves all of the options you can imagine on here. Very similar to the male one. So we've got on the appearance settings, your start of preset. And like the male version, you can make some pretty ugly characters and some absolutely beautiful characters. One of the things I really like about this character creator is just the number of options and the separate sections of things. And that goes into the dyeing in the game as well. We'll show that in the game in another video when we come to like how gear looks and things like that. But you're able to, you know, change the color of different sections of gear, similar to how you can in Black Desert and things like that. So very cool, actually. It's a really, really, really cool character creator. And as you can see, if we randomize appearance, you can see some of the options that they've created as a default here. Just randomized ones. But yeah, the one thing that definitely stands out to me, probably many of you do as well, if you're like me playing Final Fantasy XIV with a female character, you might be familiar with the lack of long hairstyles because of clipping. That's not to say that there isn't clipping in this game, because there certainly is, but the approach is, would you like long hair? Yes. So there's some really good options. We've got Aloy over here. We've got this beautiful wavy long hair. Look at that. Oh, that's so good. If we had that in 14, I wouldn't even complain anymore. We have, obviously, these long braided hairstyles. We have the short hairstyles. We've got long ponytails that drape over, which we kind of look... I mean, it looks a little bit like Hythlodaeus, doesn't it? Very cool. And these are the presets. Look at that hairstyle. Whoa. That's just awesome, isn't it? Obviously with a different character design, but yeah. And that's the one I accidentally made on my character without realizing that it kind of looks a bit like Sephiroth's hairstyle if you make it white, which was my big mistake. And then there's the actual hair section itself if you don't want to have a preset. And of course, let's choose this hairstyle. And the color wheel allows you to go absolutely nuts. So you can have nice, vibrant red hair. And let's say we want, I don't know, turquoisey blue highlights. That's where that would be. So the highlights are completely different per hairstyle. But actually, that doesn't look as good as I thought it would. There we go. That's better. That looks cool. I like that. I do like that, actually. But anyway, you get the idea. There's some really good options in terms of hairstyles. In terms of your height sliders and things like that, you can make a pretty short character. There doesn't appear to be a bust slider, which is surprising. There is bicep size and there is a torso width, but there isn't like a bust slider or anything like that. But there is a waist size, pelvis size, and calf size options. So if you want big thighs or something and a big pelvis, I guess that's what that does affect, but there isn't any kind of like butt protrusion or anything like that. I know it seems a bit crass to talk about it, but a lot of people do talk about it in video games, not having a butt slider, things like that. I mean, the pelvis slider kind of works. It's very dark in here, actually, isn't it? Can't really fix that, I'm afraid. And hand sizes and stuff like that. So you can do a lot with this character creator, but there are obviously some limitations, as I have mentioned. So let's look at some more randomized appearances, some really cool options. And it doesn't seem to shy away from using the face paints as well on a lot of these options. Like this might be one of the first games I make a character with war paint, because it's actually well done in this game. It doesn't look like it's just, you know, a PNG slapped on top. But yeah, you can make some really beautiful looking characters. Very cool stuff. And one thing I should say as well, let's create a character. So look how beautiful she is right now. So we're just going to use this as a default example, okay? So we're going to leave it exactly like this, okay? And we're going to start the game with this character, and I want to show you what it looks like in the game from here. So remember what she looks like. And as it transitions into the cutscenes, it's exactly the same. Let's skip that. And then we are in the game. Let's just get rid of this dude for a second. But look, she's pretty much... I hate that in games where you zoom in too far and it makes your character disappear. She is pretty much a one-to-one replica of the character we just created. That is something not a lot of games are capable of doing. And of course, we're playing on ultra graphics at the moment with a 14900K and a 4090. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this character creator. This is essentially in the game. I mean, this is like a tutorial section, but it's nuts, isn't it? And the transition into it was so nice as well. But anyway, let me know what you think about the character creator. We're going to be looking at other things in this game and talking about them, first impression style. And we'll also do some live streams, just showcasing the game and seeing what the gameplay is like, and talking about combat and seeing what the mid to end game sort of stuff looks like. It'll be an interesting adventure. Anyway, hopefully you'll join me on that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.